Hi, it's Rosie from RoseByNameCo. Thank you for coming by again. I do have a new journal to show you, which I just completed yesterday, and it did sell today. It's called The Fortune Teller, and it is a little story about this young fortune teller, Gypsy girl, who is coming of age and is just starting to discover her talent. And I do have my own tarot cards here that perhaps I can show you in the future. Let's see, well, some sickness, no, let's go past that. Fire, no, let's go past that. Maybe some money or a visit would be good. So these are my old tarot cards that I've had for a long time. And I did use these as a template for some duplicates that I made in the journal. So let me just put these away because I really don't know how to read them. I just kind of sort them out by threes and then pick one and so on. So this is the Fortune Teller. It is a 6x6 Gothic journal. And I do have, as usual, 3 signatures in there. I haven't veered off of that yet. I'm stuck on 3. I will try next one to do 4 signatures and perhaps one day 5. It is in a pamphlet style, and we do have fabric on the cover and some ribbon and lace and muslin and Tim Holtz, of course, hardware, and just whatever else I could find as far as some embellishments. And there's on the tassel here, I do have some beads, a little bit more than usual because this is a Gypsy journal. And so there's beads, tiny ones and bigger ones, and where are these? Yeah, these lovely orange ones as well. And on the bottom, actually these beads that I use often, I have them as well from a sari scarf. These nice shiny ones. And as well, I have this one, which is a lady's hand, I guess. However, in this case, it's quite appropriate because, well, often the Gypsy will read your palm and tell you a fortune that way. So that's on the bottom of the journal. There we go. And inside here, we do have lots of ribbon and lace on the sides as well as on the bottom, and I've left all these sewing tails as usual, and some ribbon there as well. And on the top, of course, it's full with the different colors that I've used throughout the journal, especially the violet ones, as you will see shortly why, and some clips and so on. So it's always full of all kinds of fabrics that you can enjoy looking through and so on. So otherwise, it is a 2.5 inch spine as well, so it is a larger one. And that's, I guess, pretty well everything I can tell you from the cover. And let's just go inside and see what mysteries this journal beholds. Okay, so let's open this up and see what is inside this one. And it does open up into that lovely harmonica effect that I like. And there are many pages. There are over 70 pages, and every single one is embellished in some way. There's no actual blank pages. There's just some that don't include inserts, but most of them, like 95%, include some kind of insert, and all kinds of goodies, charms, and so on. So we do have a lot to go through, so let me start from the beginning. And I hope the lighting is okay because I'm using a lamp because, well, it's late. And I just wanted to get this done so that I can get it packaged and sent away. So in the front here, we do have a little bit of antique lace here, actually, that I got from Stephanie from Vintage Studio. And here is the fabric that is from the cover, which is quite something that gypsies would be wearing. It's not quite as bright maybe as some you might see, but as I go to the next journal, it will change. So anyways, this is just because the fortune teller, she's very young right now, and she's just discovering her sight, so to speak. She's not quite sure of what's going on. So I have a little bit subdued colors in here to begin with. And I did write a message to the person who bought the journal. Okay. So here in the first pocket, we do have a little bit of the tarot cards that I just showed you. So this one is for constancy and message. So I just put them on coffee dyed paper as usual, just to make it a journal card, and you, of course you can write on it. And here we have a little bit of embellishments, and I did use a blue color here with the red and a little bit of shiny inside, just because I think gypsies also like shiny things. So here too we have fabric that is a little bit shiny, so there'll be some things that are a little bit sparkly. Now I use this bird here. Actually, she looks kind of be looking on to what's going on here, and black and white it just seems appropriate. And okay, and here on this pocket here with the music sheet, it is a vintage one, quite old, from a book I found. And here's a little booklet or a foldout with some doily paper that I stained with purple or violet. So Gypsy fortune tellers, of course. Now some of the digital prints I got from Amy Joy Studio, and some I got from Mrs. Coggs. And this one I believe is Mrs. Coggs. So anyways, the young gypsy girl, she's about 14, and her name is Violet. Her parents and grandparents did emigrate from Romania. So they are gypsies from Romania, have come over to United States in West Virginia. So that's where this is more or less set in our imagination, of course. And so here is, yeah, the light is, okay, let me hold it like this. All right, so here is her family. This is her grandmother, also named Violet, whom she's named after, and her parents. And this is Violet when she's young. Of course, she doesn't feel very beautiful, and she's very insecure. And also due to her cultural background, being a gypsy, of course, she does feel out of place and so on. And now discovering her a gift of sight as well, so it's quite complicated for her at the moment, trying to come to terms with all that. And here we do have little wreath that's crocheted. I did ask my mother, actually, she made these for me that I can use in the journals and so on. And so here is a little bit of a write-up, a little bit of a background about the family. And originally named, she's Violet Gabor. And she was quite a beautiful lady as well. Unfortunately, she has passed away on Violet's 14th birthday. So she does lose her grandmother, and she feels that she perhaps needs to go on with her talent like her grandmother has. So here we have a little bit more of the story, and then a tag with some darker flowers and so on. Of course, you can write in the back. And so this is Violet, sort of like a paper doll, I guess. And just put in here with a bit of ribbon and a bit of violet on her, just to give her that vibe. And here as well. So there's some purple throughout, violet or whichever you want to call it. So here are the tarot cards that I made copies of. And here's 3 of them that are quite almost identical to the ones that I have. So I did age them with the, of course, with the Tim Holtz inks and so on. And here we have Fidelity, a bit of sadness, and a widow. Well, I don't know how that's going to turn out. We're going to find out, I guess, eventually. And here I just have some Gothic images as far as something dark, something unusual. And I did stamp it up a bit. Here's some fabric as well. And in the back, we have Alexander, of course. He's the seer into the crystal ball. It is a little bit of a fallout. And here we also have as well a picture that her grandmother has left her. It is back in Romania, and this is how families would live in a wagon. Of course, quite a few people. I'm not sure how they fit them all in, but they did live in these. I do have some experience with that as a child, seeing gypsies. And this is called a vardo, and that's the wagon that they would usually go around with a horse. And on the back, it is stained with coffee and so on, so that everything is appropriately aged. And here's a little stamp as well, just kind of, maybe it looks like her grandmother, but just for a little bit of interest there. So that goes back in here. And this is perhaps a house in Virginia where they live now, which is still back in 1896, I believe, where it starts off. She was born, here it says actually, she was born on February 29th, 1884, which is a leap year. And that perhaps too is why she's having this extra special gift. So we have, of course, the ribbons on the side, and we're here in the middle of the first signature. And we have the beads that I like to have, and these are quite lovely, the color, the green and gold together. And this is a printout from Amy Joy Studios on vellum paper. So here's a pocket with a couple of things in it. And I did make some tags that are quite primitive. This might have been a doll that her grandmother might have played with no face. It was just a makeshift, I remember those, just a makeshift little stuffed doll with a little bit of a shirt on top, but really no distinct faces. Anyways, it is just a tag for you to write on, and it does have some ribbon and some extra things just for texture. And here is another picture that I got from a book where most of these are authentic. These are all authentic ephemera. And the gypsies, they would normally go through town and offer to sharpen your scissors or knives, or sell you, for money, of course, and or sell you something that they have made, like vases. And that was how her parents or how her grandparents might have survived, to get some money, of course, in addition to the fortune telling that they did as well, either also reading tea leaves or coffee grounds, reading palms, and so on. And on this one, we just have some more paper that I stained a little bit. And here as well, another primitive card with some cheesecloth and so on. And then I put inside, underneath the vellum, a little bit of flowers and so on. And in the back is a little pocket with a little tree. I don't know if this has any meaning yet. We'll find out maybe, I don't know. And so on the next page, we have a little bit of this fishnet material, and another little gypsy girl with a crystal ball. I don't know if that's violet yet. I believe actually the next one is violet. This one here. She's quite, like I said, unsure right now, so she's not very excited yet about what's going to happen with her, or what she's going to be doing with this gift of fortune telling. And here is just a little a fake leather that I used with a little bit of fabric on top and made a little purse. And inside is just a couple of small tags, just to have some small things here. More ribbon. And some of those a little bit strange, looks like strange things are revealed. Some bugs and spiders and so on. A little bit of fabric here. I did leave you a couple of empty pockets to put your things into as well. And this is fabric on top and on the bottom. And then here's a little bit of the story. And here also is Violet when she was younger, maybe 8 or 9. And like I said, she's very feeling like a fish out of water, always feeling not as beautiful or as attractive as some other girls and so on. So always feeling a little bit odd. And here, because this is a Gothic journal, I do have some skulls, and underneath you can write on there. Here's a tag with the all-seeing eye. You can maybe write with some gel pen, and just a little bit more fabric. In the back, you have a whole page to write on, here and there. Here I did use the tracing paper that I painted over a little bit, and here's an empty pocket for you as well. Here in this pocket is the astrology, of course, signs of all the signs, in case you don't know them in order, because I don't really know them in order, and I should make one of those for myself. And here's some very vintage looking ribbon, and just some right up inside here, and a little bit more of that shiny paper. Over here we have a couple of birds, and they're just looking a little bit Gothic-like to me, so I did include them. And so here's a pocket, and here's a little embellishment with some beads on it. And over here is another gypsy. She looks like trying to maybe take your palm to tell you what's going on tomorrow. And a little washi tape. Well, I have this clear washi tape that has dragonflies and butterflies and so on. I thought, why not use them sometimes? And some vintage fabric here, and some spiders and some cheesecloths just to give a little more texture. And over here I have this writing paper. Of course, you can write on it, as well as it tells you, gives you a little quote that you might hear at a fortune teller's. A thrilling time is in your near future, and with a little beads here. So yeah, let's hope for some exciting times. And we have a little bit of a skull, and there's another one here, and this one here, this is from Shabby Chic Studios that I got a while back, and some painting that I did. And on this tag here is a sample of maybe some kind of fabric that they might have back in Romania, where women often wore these folk type national kind of dress. So everything is usually quite intricate in the making and so on. So the women do like to wear something very pretty. And on this side we have a belly band, and inside first we have this beautiful paper that I've used before with this image that makes me stare at it. Anyways, and we have a skull here that I stamped up and put some cheesecloth, and this is on an old envelope. And we have some ribbons here. If I missed some, let me see. Oh yeah, I did miss, I believe, to show you. Well, first of all, sorry about that. First of all, this lovely charm here, which is actually a fortune teller girl, and I don't know if you can see it, and the crystal ball. So she's reading the crystal ball here. So an actual charm of the fortune teller. I didn't know they had them, but I happened to find it, so I thought it would be perfect for this. And So we come to the middle of the second signature with some beads, and this is wax paper of a map that I got in Croatia, and I made this booklet with some papers and some painting that I did and so on. Just all kinds of a little bit different papers. A little bit extra writing space. It goes into this pocket. And in this pocket is a little tag with quite vintage looking paper. It does open up, so it is a fold out. And more of these little beads. And a couple more birds. I don't know if they're yelling at each other, but also look quite Gothic. So I added them in here. And I love the ribbon all over, really. I try to use it as much as possible. So this one happens to be black and red. And it does hold the tarot card charm. There we go. And I love it. Had to get a few for this journal and for myself. So I put that in there as well. And a little bit more of the quotes from a fortune teller up here. On this pocket here, of course, some more painting, and this one has some cards, all the cards in it, a test book it says. And inside we have just a few like ephemera. This one says the Market Grocery, had the name Violet on it, so I really wanted to use it. And just another photo from a DigiKit, and of course some vintage paper. So that goes in this little folder. And inside here as well, I have another one of these primitive tags with quite a bit of texture on it, and looks like a candle with some kind of beads. Something a little bit unusual anyways, so I added that in here. A little bit more of that paper. And here in this one is a little flip up of black lace, and then an old letter. The ones that I've been using that my mom gave me. I just made it a little bit more wrinkly because I like it that way. And this, if you haven't noticed, is a bat. And over here in this pocket, I have, let's see how I put this together. Okay. So these cards are also very old. I believe they're just regular playing cards, but they just look odd, and I wanted to include them. So I do have the old ones. Actually, they're my husband's cards, and I made some copies of them, and this one as well. And inside you have all sizes of paper on the back and on the front to put your messages on. And as well, of course, and as well you have some very vintage looking ledger paper. So this goes together. And I'll put this back in here. Okay. Here I have a little bit of a writing paper as well. Looks like a girl in the woods, maybe a little bit like Violet. It is a postage stamp from Australia, but maybe Violet is going through the woods looking for herbs, and she's just taking a little rest. And there's a little moth here and some ribbon ruffled. And this one I have very vintage little fold out. I do like writing this way myself. It's very quick. As I mentioned, I don't have a lot of time to be writing full pages right across, and I like to write down for some reason. So I do like making these. I did stamp it up with a couple of birds on there. Okay, that goes in here. And here's a little envelope just stitched over here. A lot of stitching all over the journal as usual. This one has a little Ouija board, and I did add a little birdie on here. And, you know, you can ask her, will I have a good day? Let me see. Y-E-S. Yes. Okay. We shall have a good day. Okay. Goodbye. So, just a little bit for fun. Now, I don't know if Violet will eventually dabble in anything a little bit darker. We shall see. Here is another stamp. This one is from Croatia, however, when it used to be called Yugoslavia, that was the old country. And it just has a lot of brownish earth tones in here that I thought maybe looked quite primitive, so I added it here. And I just stitched this up with a bit of pattern paper. And over here, we have this beautiful coral lace. And inside is just some papers. And a little notebook, one of those petal notebooks that I like to make. I did stamp it up a bit, and if you open it up, it just looks like a flower to me. It stands right up. It's beautiful. And the different sizes of the pages just make it look like the petals are coming up from a flower. Okay. And some more writing space. Actually have a whole page here. This is a bit of a plastic. You can stuff it up probably with a lot of things in it. This one does have an envelope in. And in here, Violet keeps, looks like a picture, I believe, with her father. It's one of the few that she has with her father. Something has happened to him. We don't know what yet. But she does cherish this one. She is over here, if you can see her, this little tiny little girl down here, and that's her father. I don't know if the sun is shining into it. It's quite faded. And writing paper where she might maybe write some notes about her father. And a map that is actually from that area, Hungary, Romania, that I got from a book that she keeps also, maybe where her family comes from. So this is a bit of ephemera, family ephemera that she keeps in this envelope, safely tucked away in this pocket. And you can add to it as you wish. And here we have another gypsy girl, and of course it's a fold-up with a bit of punching here. And another primitive tag with candlestick. I try to make it quite vintage and rustic for this journal, just because I think it's appropriate. And over here we have another piece of paper. In the back you can write as well, and there's a map, and also another wording or quote from a fortune teller. Maybe, you know, each day you can look it up and see what's happening. And over here we have Violet. Perhaps she's reading her grandmother's journal about fortune telling, and see how she can learn more about it. And just a little bit of a leaf over here, so a little fold-out. And look at this beautiful, looks like leaves. It was from a tablecloth that I coffee stained and turned out so beautiful, golden brown. So I stitched it right across on the top, and it's quite beautiful on this craft paper. Now inside here, actually there's more in here. Just a few tags, different kinds. This one is from cardstock, butterflies, and just a plain tag, and a little bit of flowers here. So just lots more writing space for you to fill in. So, and a little bit more ephemera. So that goes back in here. And as you can see, I like to put everything back mostly right away. And on this one, we do have a little bit more about the story. And so this is Violet. She is changing as she's becoming a little bit more mature and so on. This beautiful Violet tag as well. And she's becoming very beautiful. She doesn't realize it, but she's a beautiful girl inside and out. And here's just a little bit more of the notebook paper in this tiny envelope. This here is a fabric pocket with some ribbon on top. In this beautiful pattern paper or pattern fabric that maybe goes with Gypsy colors. And this one is the astrology signs again, the horoscope, and just a little bit painting in the back. And this is the middle of the third signature. We got the beads and the printout on vellum paper from Amy Joy Studios. And we have a little bit of a bigger booklet here that I wanted to add with quite a few more writing paper and then some of my metallic painting. And in the front we have a little envelope that I stitched up, and a little bit of paper, and then this is the avocado dye paper. I didn't do too well on it. I did do a few pages which are, I guess, okay, and with a little bit of violet and sparkling here. Okay, so that goes back in here. Over here, and in the back we have another rustic tag with some of that patterned fabric that they might wear in Romania, and a little bit of the fortune teller ephemera. So, okay, so that goes back in this pocket. Let me just put the clip on it. Okay, and here we have another one of fortune teller with the crystal ball, with some ribbon on the side. So this might have been her grandmother. She looks a little bit older. And here we have a little key charm. And in the back here, where this pretty fabric is Violet. She is, looks like smelling some flowers. It does have this beautiful eyelash ribbon on top of it. And in the back is a little pocket. And we just have a few little things like a postcard and some more writing paper. And this one has a little tiny envelope, tinier than the other one. I don't know if I can actually get this out. Let me see. Okay, this tiny piece of paper. I know. Do we really need it? Well, yes, we do. Okay, let's put that back in here. Okay, well, just in case you need it, okay? Just for some extra paper. So let's put it back in here. Oh, sorry. This was Violet, and she goes here. Alrighty. And another of those primitive tags with all kinds of tactile fabric and so on, and some kind of old-looking, I don't know, wooden bucket. And here's another little envelope with a little bit more of that tiny paper. Yes, it even opens up. Yep, it's a little flip out, mini flip out. And inside this pocket, okay, yeah, okay, here's another fortune teller image, I believe from Amy Joy, that I put in here. But there's lots of space in here as well. You can add lots of your own as well. There's a couple more of those coffee stained tablecloth snippets. Here's some writing paper and some more over here on top of a map, and everything is stitched and coffee dyed. And this is a chubby. Do you know those chubby juices for kids? Those little kind of roundish bottles. It dyes pretty nice. So, anyways, that's what it is. And over here, this beautiful color of ribbon and another tag. Sorry, I'm moving the camera. Okay, this one is the other side of the plastic pocket, and this is, I don't know if this is Violet already becoming a little bit older, perhaps, with this beautiful ribbon. I'm not sure what this is really, but it looks pretty. And opens up, and here is another little booklet with more paper. So you do have lots of paper to write on, besides all these inserts to look at as well, because I myself like to discover in the journal, as well as have some space to write on, but mostly I don't want blank pages. I do want something to discover most of all. So here is, I have to fix this table so it doesn't keep moving. A little butterfly here and some writing space, and this cute little skeleton that he's just hanging around here. See what's happening. And of course more papers, and a little bit of another quote here, and another quote on this one as well. And this one opens up and up again, and then you have these flip outs like that on each side that I stamped on the top, and some more little papers here. So I just like to look at it. I might write on it, but I just like to look at it anyhow. So here we go with this one. And this ruffled fabric here on this beautiful blue roses paper. And this one actually is holding, yeah, I do have some clips, yeah. This one is holding on the very last page here, Violet, which is the picture from the front, sorry about that. Again, you can write on it and just see her a little bit more up close. She's quite excited here. She has found, I guess, a way to her gift and has come to terms with it. She's very excited that she will be the fortune teller. So her name is actually Violet March, and she discovers that yes, she wants to do this. She wants to help people and do some good, and you know, see where she can lead them or guide them in some way. So she's quite excited to get going. And so here is maybe the fabric that she might use to lay her tarot cards on. And I'm sorry about that again. And I did sign it here as well and date it March 22nd, 2018, when I completed this journal. So here's her V for Violet, which was handed down to her from her grandmother. And inside, of course, are her treasured tarot cards, the whole set in miniature. So she might, you know, use them to lay them out over here and, you know, give you your fortune and hopefully tell you all the good things that will happen. So, and then we'll just put it back for now. So that goes in this cute little leather, fake leather. In the back though, here it says, so she, although she discovers that yes, this is what she wants to do, but it was 1896 and fortune telling was illegal in West Virginia. She says, I had no idea that only a week later I would lose my freedom. So that might be something I might continue in the next installment that I've come to somehow want to do. And apparently some people want to have it, and so we shall see if there will be another one. I hope so, to see where this fortune telling might lead Violet, how she's going to do with it, why she would lose her freedom. Well, I guess we should find out maybe in the next installment. So this is the fortune teller, 6x6 Gothic journal, and I appreciate you coming by again and seeing this one. Hopefully I will work through all the many videos that I have here to put them together and post it sometimes. So it is going to get packed up and shipped away. It's always hard, you know, when you worked on something a lot and put all your effort into it and thoughts and imagination, and then you'll have to let it go. It's a little bit hard. So anyways, thanks for coming by. Bye-bye.